Namaste and welcome to Alpha Mind Powers YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about mantras, mantra chanting, mantra shakti. What is the energy of a mantra? What is the best way to chant a mantra? How many times should we chant a mantra? When should we chant a mantra? All these questions. So many questions are coming up. Sometimes in our live programs, sometimes through email. So I thought let me answer all the questions in one small video. So mantras are very powerful syllables, and if it is a bija mantra, then it has a lot of power built into it. Power built into it in the sense it is there. The bija mantra carries the energy of a particular deity generally, and it has a lot of energy, lot of power. So when we chant mantras, those syllables, whether we understand the meaning or not, when you chant a mantra, the energy of the mantra flows through you. That is how it is. And the more you chant a mantra, the more energy flows through you. And it is very good to chant mantras, because even if you take a mantra like Om, it sounds very simple, but that is the Pranava mantra, is the first mantra we say. So if you just sit and chant Om for let's say 108 times, it takes just 2-3 minutes. If you chant 108 times Om, you will immediately feel very calm, absolutely peaceful, because it releases all the negativities in you. It purifies you. It purifies the place where you're sitting and chanting, the room where you're sitting and chanting. So automatically the energy of a place changes when you chant Om. So that way every mantra has a terrific amount of energy, and if you sit and close your eyes and chant, you can definitely feel the energy of the mantra slowly flowing through you. And it is always advisable to chant mantras before you meditate, because chanting mantras prepares you for meditation. It cleanses you a lot. So with the cleansing, what happens is unnecessary thoughts disappear and the mind becomes calm, and you're almost in a meditative state. If you have chanted some 7 or 8 mantras, which you normally chant every day, once you finish all that, you will find your mind is so peaceful and calm that you're ready for the meditation. Otherwise, many times people say, I'm trying to meditate, I'm listening to the audio, but my mind is not settling down. So this is a very good way of preparing your mind to meditate. Pranayamam also is another very good way to prepare yourself. That's why I always say, for any meditation, do some pranayamam, chant some mantras. Once you do all that, you're there almost, and then you listen to the meditation and you enjoy it. So that is one very good benefit of chanting mantras, because it purifies you completely, and it also increases your vibrations. It increases the vibrations of the place where you sit and chant mantras. Now, how to chant mantras? There are actually 4 ways in which you can chant a mantra. The first method is known as Vaikari. Vaikari is when you chant a mantra loudly. It increases the vibration of the whole place when you chant a mantra very loudly. Where is it done loudly? Generally, you will see in a temple, a priest would chant a mantra loudly, so that everyone can hear the mantra and feel the vibration. That happens when you go to a temple. So there loud chanting is required. And similarly, when there is a group chanting done, supposing there is a group of people sitting and chanting mantras for some puja, then they chant loudly so that everyone can feel the vibration, everyone can feel that energy. So there also loud chanting is required. This is known as the Vaikari method of chanting. Next comes Madhyama. Madhyama is when a person is murmuring a mantra. He or she is doing some puja and chanting mantras along with it. So, but you can't really hear the mantra very clearly, but you know that the person is chanting. So the Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, it's going on, Om Namah Shivaya is going on, but it's not very clear. It's a murmuring, whispering type of chanting, which is called Madhyama. Then you have Pashyanti, where you do not speak the mantra loudly, you do not even murmur or whisper, but the mantra is being chanted internally. Within you, the mantra is being chanted. Om Namah Shivaya, you just say it within yourself. So that is called Pashyanti. And there's another one, 4th one, which is called Para. Para is a method where you do not chant the mantra loudly, you do not murmur it, you do not even chant it mentally. You just feel the mantra. It's there within you. The entire energy fills you and you become absolutely still. So that is a very high level of energy that you feel and that sometimes you can experience that energy also. So these are the 4 methods in which you can feel the energy of a mantra, 4 methods in which you can chant. Now when you chant in your day-to-day life, you may have some 7 or 8 mantras, 10 mantras which you liked, or maybe 2 or 3 mantras which you wish to chant every day. The best way to chant mantras, first start with the Vaikari method. 3 times or 5 times. Supposing it's Om Namah Shivaya. Say Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. That was Vaikari. Now come to Madhyama. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. You are still chanting, but it's not loud and clear. It's more like a whispering or murmuring way. So that is Madhyama. And then you go into the third one, which is Pashyanti, where you do not even whisper or murmur. You just chant it internally. Your eyes are closed and you keep on chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya internally. That is Pashyanti. And then as you do this, as you practice this for many days, you will sometimes reach the state of para, where you don't even chant the mantra, but the mantra is there full, occupying your mind, your body, your consciousness, everything is just Om Namah Shivaya. And you just sit there, total bliss. So that is the para state. So these 4 methods are there, and I would suggest that you start with Vaikari, move on with Madhyama, end with Pashyanti, where the mantra gets internalized and the energy will be very, very good. That is the best way to chant. Okay. Now the next question is how many times to chant? The number which is generally given for mantras to get the best result out of a mantra, the ideal number is 108. So if you can chant all your mantras 108 times, well and good, you can do that. But generally many of us would like to do that, but the time constraint and many other constraints, they don't allow us to do that. So then you can choose. Now supposing you're starting with Om, let's say for example, then you can chant Om just 9 times, because it gives you that cleansing, it gives you that energy flow. Then move on to some Ganapati mantra, which also maybe you can chant 9 times. Why 9 times? 108 is the ideal number. If you cannot chant 108 times, you chant at least 54 times, which is half of 108. And then if you cannot chant 54 times, then half of 54 is 27 times. If you cannot even chant 27 times, you don't have the time, then you chant a minimum of 9 times. So it's either 108 or 54 or 27 or minimum 9 times. So I would suggest that certain mantras you can chant 9 times, like Om and then Ganapati mantra and then 1 or 2 other mantras. But when it comes to Sri Vidya mantras, Bala mantra, Saubhagya Panchadasi, you have to chant 108 times each. Similarly, you may want to chant some other mantra 108 times for some reason. So you chant that 108 times. So you can set up a kind of a table for yourself that these mantras I will chant so many times, maybe even 27 times if you wish. But the more important, see, all mantras are important, but what is more important for you? Those mantras you chant 108 times. So that way you can balance your time also. And then how to count? Because counting is another problem. So people say, how do I count? How do I know that I'm reaching 108? Now there is this method where you have this counter. Many people use it. But counter, you know what happens is you say Om Namah Shivaya, you press it once. Number 1 appears. Then you say Om Namah Shivaya, press it again. Number 2 appears. So the count increases. And then to know how much you have chanted, you will have to open your eyes and look at the counter and see the number. So you do get distracted and your focus is on the counter and not on the mantra. But we don't want that. Some people do it with the fingers. They count like this. But there also sometimes you can miss and you don't know how many times you've done it. So again it becomes confusing. That is also there. So there has to be a method where you can focus only on the mantra and the counting happens naturally, automatically, and when you reach 108 you automatically know. So to do that you can use a Rudraksha Mala. A Rudraksha Mala is like this. It has 108 beads and it has one extra bead which is the 109th one, which is known as Sumeru. So when you use a Rudraksha Mala, you will keep the mala on your middle finger like this. And you will start with the bead just above the Sumeru, and one by one, as you say Om Namah Shivaya, hold the first bead, push it towards yourself. Then hold the second bead, Om Namah Shivaya or any mantra, and push it towards yourself. So I hope you can see it. You hold it on the middle finger, your index finger is out. Only with the thumb you push it towards yourself, one by one, one by one. As you say the mantra, push it towards yourself. So that's how you use the mala. And finally, when you complete the whole mala, you come to the other side. If your eyes are closed and you are chanting, when you touch the Sumeru, you know that it is the additional bead. So you know that you have reached 108. You don't have to open your eyes in between. You can just enjoy the energy of the mantra, and you can also keep on moving the bead. So this is a very simple and very easy way to count how much you have chanted. Similarly, you can also use a Tulasi bead mala. That is also fine. You can use it for chanting mantras. But some people also use a crystal mala, beads made of crystals. So that I don't recommend much, because you might keep the mala somewhere, and if there is some negativity in that place, the mala will absorb that negativity. And then when you're chanting with that mala, all your chanting energy will go only towards purifying that mala first. So that way you will not get the full benefit of the mantra. So that's why you can avoid crystal mala. For chanting purposes, Rudraksham is the best, because a Rudraksh always absorbs the energy of the mantras which you chant with that mala. So whenever you wear that mantra, you can wear it when you meditate, you can wear it when you're doing some puja, the energy will be very good for you. So you can use a Rudraksh mala. But for some reason, in case you cannot use a Rudraksh mala, you can go for a Tulasi bead mala. That is also very good. Many people use it. You can use that also for counting. So this way you can do your counting very easily without focusing on the counting. Okay, that is there. Now the other question is, when should I chant? Now I would say meditation should be done early in the morning. Early in the morning, because there is no disturbance. People would maybe still sleeping in the house, so you have your privacy. You can sit and complete your meditation without disturbance. So I always recommend that. But of course, if you cannot do it early in the morning, then any time is also fine. So you finish your meditation in the morning, and then after you have your bath, when you light a lamp and you do your puja, that is the best time to sit and chant your mantras. But some people again say in the morning I don't have that much time. So you can finish your puja, finish your morning work, and later on during the day, if you have time, you want to sit and chant, you can definitely sit and chant. There's no problem at all. Or in the evening, again when you light a lamp, evening Sandhya Kalam, evening is a very good time to sit and chant mantras. You can do that also. So keep that in mind, either morning or evening, whenever you find time, you can sit and chant. Now there was one lady many years back, she asked me a question. She said, can I chant mantras when I'm doing some work or when I'm walking? She does 1 hour's walking every day. So she said, can I? I said, see, generally you need to respect a mantra. When you chant a mantra, it is something which gives you a divine connection. It connects you with some deity or some energy. So you need to respect that mantra. And for that, I would say you should sit and close your eyes and chant and focus on the mantra. That's the best way to do it. Then this lady said, but I go for a walk every day for 1 hour. She goes to a park and she walks there. She says, I don't talk to anybody. I just walk by myself, totally focus 1 hour. But she said that the entire 1 hour, my mind is so negative. My mind is thinking of all the problems at home with each one that I have, and it becomes very negative. I don't like it. So I'm thinking it may be better if I chant some mantra. Then I said, see, when you look at it that way, instead of becoming so negative with all the unwanted thoughts and emotions, it is so much better to chant a mantra. So I said, yes, go ahead and chant. So if you're doing walking, you can chant mantras to keep your mind in a more positive frame with positive energy. And another thing I would like to suggest here is, if you are cooking, man or woman, whoever it is, if you're doing the cooking at home, then chant mantras when you're cooking. As you cook, if you chant any mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, any mantra that you like or which the food that you cook will become like a prasad. It will be blessed by that deity, by that energy, and all your family members, when they eat that food, they will receive a lot of positive energy. So learn to use mantras in that way also. Sitting and chanting is the best way. Sitting and closing your eyes and chanting is the best way. But I feel you can also use it when you're cooking or doing some work at home, or when you go for a walk. Definitely that would be the best way to keep your mind focused on something positive. So mantra chanting can be something which purifies you, which makes your mind calm, which empowers you also. It makes your vibrations very high. So all these benefits are there. Chant mantras and slokas every day whenever you can, and let me also know how you experienced this energy. Please write in the comment section.